Grace and author Leanne Mallory. Thank you so much for waking up with us.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, I feel like this is something that a conversation I need to have, because I was telling you, I don't always have confidence in every aspect of my life. So first off, what are some of the myths regarding women in the workplace?
Wow, there's a whole bunch, I'll tell you. In fact, my book, Guts and Grace, is really a 13 practice myth buster series. But one of them is that we have to be strong, and really in a way we have to actually work like men to get ahead. So this is true usually in the earlier parts of our career. So much of our workplace culture is dominated by more of a masculine push, drive, do things a certain way to really succeed kind of culture. But the bottom line is there's almost always a moment in one's career where that is not necessarily a better strategy than actually being your most authentic self. It's not easy to make the leap from one of those moments to the other. Usually it ends up being kind of a career defining moment, or sometimes it's a breakdown or a burnout moment or some kind of a challenge that we face where we realize like doing it somebody else's way actually isn't working for me anymore. But it takes a lot of courage, kind of faith actually, to trust that if I really listen to my own intuition, if I really trust my own body, let's say if I'm burned out, that I will be able to get to the next place that I'd like to get to. 99.9% of the time, I find that you actually do if you make that leap. But it's almost like you have to surrender the old strategies and everything. We kind of say like, what got you ahead won't get you there. Like what got you here won't get you there. You have to surrender those old strategies and actually double down on your own self to really do what your body says to do. This is, I think, one of the biggest myths, and it's actually why I wrote the book.
I love this because I was always taught, don't cry, don't show your weakness. I mean, I've been here almost 16 years. I can't tell you how many times I've cried in the handicap stall in this bathroom because I didn't want to show my weakness. Or then I find women go the other extreme where they feel we have to be, too assertive and kind of witchy. So how do we get this like full body, wisdom? How do we connect with that so we can be great, effective leaders?
This is a great example, actually. It's one of the things that I teach in Guts and Grace. In fact, chapters 4 and 5 in Guts and Grace are really oriented about how do I wrangle myself if I have too much emotions, or how do I let myself feel those emotions? And then what's the right balance to strike? What I find is that we tend to again, we have these aspects of ourselves that are a bit like our Achilles heel or our weakness when we're earlier in our career. But my guess about you, for example, is that emotionality is also one of your superpowers. So it can be a little bit of a road to walk to go from, I cry too much and I don't know how to use this at work and it's getting in my way in some way, to pulling back on it and maybe wrangling it and, kind of reeling it in to fit in the workplace. But at some point in time, it may be that actually spending some time, perhaps not at work, right? Maybe the first time that you're really refining that superpower needs to be in a different context, when you're not being so judged or when there's not so much going on that you're being measured by. But to really be able to refine that, you actually have to go further into it. And so there might be a period of time in your life, again, because something happened. I have a client, for example, right now who's working with a lot of grief because her mom passed away. And what I can tell you is that not only did it make her a better leader to be able to open that part of herself back up again that she'd really shut away earlier in her career, but she's actually gotten a raise and a promotion as a result of the new way that she's leading now that she brought that forward.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. And you also made me feel better about myself, so thank you for that. For all of the women watching,
so welcome.
What is the biggest piece of advice? Where can we get started?
Oh, well, again, to get started, I would say there's a practice of listening. I talk about listening to the wisdom of your body, or I also will say listening to your intuition. And frankly, because we're so disconnected, many of us, from our bodies at this moment in time, it's almost the same thing. So it's like, what does your gut say? What is the impulse that you have? What's the thing that you tend to gravitate toward or lean toward? And just starting to say yes to that more of the time, rather than do what you're supposed to do or do what somebody else said you're supposed to do. Again, usually I support women to make these practices in very small ways. So it's not like, going to define their career if it's not quite the right moment, or if it's not fully refined the way that they're practicing it. But even if it's just at home, like I start to say yes to what I want to eat for dinner instead of what somebody else said I should be eating for dinner. Or I start to say yes to an instinct that perhaps it's time to start looking for another job, or perhaps it's time to start asking for a raise, actually. To really trust yourself and to listen if you're feeling something in your body. We'll sometimes say like below the neck, if there's a gut instinct, an impulse to go in a certain direction, to experiment with saying yes to that more of the time.
I love this. I want to get a copy of your book. Where can we go for more?
So you can find me at gutsandgrace.com, and /book, you'll find the book. And yeah, I'd be happy for folks to check out this work.
Well, I love that. I think guts and grace, that's a great definition. I want to start incorporating that more. I learned a lot about myself from this. So thank you so much. I'd love to have you back on the show.
You're so welcome. I'd love to be back. Have a great rest of your morning.
You too. Thank you. Guts and grace. I'm going to write that down.